Hello and welcome to Abin Time, where your hosts, Kat
and Maddie,
discuss a wide variety of topics. Now, today's going to be a pretty fun one, I think, for both of us, because even though I joked about it last time, we're actually going to talk about shows we're obsessed with, so...
It's been a long time in coming, I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah. It was one of those things, when I made the joke, I didn't realize it was the next episode we're doing, so this kind of all works out, right?
It absolutely works out. We did the little look at it, and we're like, oh dear. Oh dear, this is coming up fast.
Yep.
And here we are.
Ready
to talk about it.
Exactly. So, before we both get into what is our quote-unquote obsession, do you have any shows that you liked before but never really got to the point where, like, you liked it as much as the show we're going to talk about very shortly?
Well, I didn't have as big of a anime upbringing as you did, I think. However, I was in the house with a lot of anime, so I have, of course, already talked about Ranma and Princess Nine as my first shows I've ever watched, kind of seriously, as seriously as you could watch as a kid.
Yeah.
But I remember liking this one show called Lucky Star.
Oh man, Lucky Star! I've got some fond memories of that show.
You know why my dad showed it to me?
Why?
Because he thought I'd identify with the blue-haired girl. Oh man, oh boy, did I! I was so jealous of how much she could play games.
Oh, fair enough. Like, I mean, it was to the point where it was affecting her schooling, though, right? So, like...
Oh, the best part was the fact that she and her sensei played the same MMO together, and so during every break, the sensei's kind of like that. I would say she's kind of like Kat in the fact that she likes torturing her students by being like, "Yeah, man, wasn't that break great, everyone? I got to chill," and everyone's like, "Oh man, that sucked." And then, oh man, I forgot her name. I'll keep calling her blue hair girl until I remember. But she stands up and she's like, "Sensei, I'm right with you on that one," because she played the MMO with her all break and didn't do her homework, which is another fun plot point of the show.
Oh yeah, that's a cute little fun show. I know a lot of people don't like it. It doesn't have a plot, essentially, but you know what? The humor is actually pretty good, and that intro song is so damn catchy.
Oh, so catchy. Dude, every time sadly, the Fickle Playlist Master has taken it away from me when I heard it during a certain someone's stream, and I was like, Lucky Star! And it was just instant skipped, and I was like, aw.
Partially because it's like, even though I have a lot of fond memories of that song, other people would probably hear it and be like, what is this? Why is this still playing? And the other reason is it's really fun to sing along to because of how fast it is. Yes. So that's why I skip it, because it's like, nobody needs to hear that. No. let's just get past that.
It's so catchy. Obviously, I can't sing it because I cannot, like, even slow Japanese songs, like, I'll try to sing along to, but it's just me saying, like, vowel sounds, trying to, like, feel like I'm singing Japanese when, I'm not. But, yeah, that song is always so catchy. You just, it's fast, and you're just like, yeah. And I feel like it doesn't even really have anything to do with the freaking anime. It's just a catchy song.
It's just about their sailor uniforms, right?
It's about their summer uniforms, yeah. It's like about their uniforms, or it's like it's getting hot.
It's a sailor's type style uniform, and there's random, like, the whole second verse, which I don't know if you, but I can always send you the song so that you can hear it all. But yeah, it's like random animal noises at one point.
That's so Lucky Star. But yeah, man. Like, so sadly, I'm that weirdo who never actually finished the anime. I'd keep watching the same, like, 9 episodes over and over again.
I mean, to be fair, if you wanted to finish the show, it is, I believe, all on Crunchyroll now. So if you ever just want to, like, catch those last, I think, 4 episodes, you got it there.
Right. Yes. Yeah. But it was. I always turned it on to laugh and just have a good time, and it always succeeded in doing that. And there was a joke between me and my eldest brother, because I'd always laugh at the there's like a little jingle where it's like dun 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 dun, and they're just randomly doing something, and he's just like, Maddie, you should make that your ringtone. As I'm like 10 and I have like an emergency flip phone. Right? Because I play softball. My dad wanted me to have a phone, but, like, didn't want me to have a phone. So he was just like, yeah, try and make that your ringtone. I was like, I don't know how to do that without getting, like, voices in it because they're always talking in front of it. Because I was just figured I would record it and then like set a crappy thing as my ringtone, right? Because I'm a kid and I don't know any better. But yeah, it's still funny. Right before this, I rewatched a certain part, and Kat could say I was laughing.
Yeah. I don't know which part you were rewatching. The only thing I really remember that show is like the first gag where they're talking about which end you eat the cornet from.
Yeah.
The open end or the closed end.
Yeah. Oh man, each episode is just like basically just like a short film with no real plot, and you know they don't.
But
really
sometimes
connect.
that kind of comedy can just be like fun and refreshing. Like I hate shows with no plot, but for some reason Lucky Star and Azumanga I'm okay with. They're fun.
Yeah, they're very fun. Man, this is good memories. Watching that in the living room.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And then Nick would walk in and be all like, "God, you're watching that again?" I'll be like, "Shut up! I'm watching Lucky Star. It makes me laugh. I like laughing." Yep. Lucky Star is one I watched for a hot minute. That was good. What about you? Do you have a show before your absolute favorite show of all time?
Yeah. So I've mentioned before on First Anime watching, Sailor Moon was a big part of my childhood. I love Sailor Moon, and it probably could qualify for this, but as much as I loved it, I was never part of the fandom. I was never like, I don't know. I liked it. I just did my own thing with it, and everybody else grew out of it, and I'm like, yeah, it's good. I like it. Another one is Card Captors, which is, or Card Captor Sakura, I should say, because like that's the actual title, not the English title. Really cute show. There's another season airing of it right now. I mean, I wrote an essay on it, so yeah, probably a bit obsessed with it, but at the same time, like, it's just a show I really like. It's not a show I personally identify with as much as the show I'm going to be talking about later. Another show which it was between this show and the one I'm actually talking about, and I had to think about it for a really long time. The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. I've mentioned it a times.
Oh man, this
really
anime.
I love it so much.
This anime's come up a bit.
Yeah, well, it's just between it and the light novel and the movie, it's really good. And I didn't think I would like non-linear storytelling, but the fact that the original TV airing of the show is in its own way a way to non-linear tell a story, like the fact that it's not told in order is a story element. I dig it. I dig it so much. And I mean, yeah, I own quite a few figures for it, and I identify myself quite a bit like Kyon, because Kyon is just pure snark. And I can have my snarky moments, not nearly as much as him, because like, oh my god, it's just imagine a being incarnate of snark, and that is Kyon.
I don't know, you have a lot of snark in you.
I do, but not as much as him.
Untapped potential.
But no, I adore that show, and I rewatch it all the time, and I spent an obscene amount of money on the DVD version because the way Bandai brought it out was that if you wanted the original TV airing order, you had to buy the special edition, and the special edition was like $70 a disc.
Well,
the first one was $100 because it came with a box and a CD and a T-shirt iron-on thing and a pencil board, and like I got extra shit for it, but it was like, oh man, I'm spending a lot on these 4 discs.
Oh dear.
But it's so good and so worth it. At least for me, because that TV airing order is the order I prefer.
So it just makes it easier for you to rewatch it in your best viewing. Yeah,
because in the TV airing order, it's like you get episode 0, which is technically episode 10, and then episode 1, 2, and 3 are 2, 3, and 4, and then it jumps to episode 11, and or wait, no, episode 11 is always episode 11. But I mean, it's completely told out of order, and it works for that one specific show in this one specific setting. So yes, I love it. Am I obsessed? Yeah, probably, but
there's one that goes above and beyond.
Yeah, because like the show I'm about to talk about, not right now because we gotta lead up to it, but like I can't go a couple of months without rewatching it. I get sad. So
yeah.
I so that's why the show I will talk about shortly wins out everything. And if you've heard me at all, you already know what the show is. But before that,
even new people know what that show is. We're both super transparent. Let's just say that. Anyway.
So let's roll into it. Maddie, what is the show and how did you feel the first time you saw it?
Oh no, if I want to get into this. Okay.
No.
Okay, so super transparent. Ooh, surprise, surprise. My show that I was first obsessed with / was my favorite is the Persona 4 anime.
Yep. I figured that would be it. Like, I know right now you show maybe technically more, but I know how important P4 anime is to you.
Persona 5 anime, Morgana. Yep. I have a Morgana plushie in my lap right now. He's so soft. Anyway, I also have Chie because, of course, I have my Chie plushie. Yes, so, God. So I've kind of already talked, if you've listened to any of our things, so we've probably talked about this a little bit, but first time I quote unquote saw the anime, I was just playing through the game, and I got past like the awakening scene, right? And,
okay.
And I was like, man, that was really cool, so I played a little bit more, and then I turned it off, and I was like, I really want to watch that awakening scene again. I didn't know there was an anime at the time. So I looked up Persona 4 Awakening scene on YouTube. And I watched an Awakening scene that looked a lot sicker than the one I saw. And I was like, why does the main character, why is he speaking? What's happening? And then I look in like the description, it's like, and this is the Awakening scene for the anime. And I'm like, there's an anime of this? And God. So I watched that and I'm like, that's sick. This is cool. That was a lot cooler than the game. And, scroll down a little bit and you see something like a Shadow Naoto fight and, final fight for Persona 4 anime. And I'm like, this looks cool. Naoto looks cool. So I'm pretty sure I started a little bit of a hole of just watching random fights that I had not got to yet. Spoiler, I definitely played Persona 4, like, in a full spoiler mode because I basically watched the anime on YouTube before I got to like those points in the game.
Right.
So I was able to play the game really well because I knew what was going to happen. But yeah, I made a mistake and it showed me an anime and I was like, this anime is pretty cool. And so I watched bits and pieces of it and I finally got to like the endish, like the snow bit in the game, right. And it goes all like, there's an anime, right? And I'm all like, see about that. I'm yeah, I do know that, and I kind of told him, and then he said, you idiot, because he does that. And I was like, so can I watch the anime now? He's like, but you're not done. I'm like, well, don't worry about it, because I got time to catch up. Like, it's fine. And then I
marathoned it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I've learned anything about you over the course of this podcast is that you watch a show, you watch it till there's no more to watch.
Mm-hmm. I watch until they literally say there's no more to be had. And I'm like, no. So I hadn't even finished the game yet, and I finished the game. To be actually rewinding, I think I actually wasn't in the snow area when I started the anime. I think I was like figuring out the killer at the time.
Oh, okay.
And I finished the anime before that.
Oh, okay.
Like, so the anime Nanako scenes I didn't see coming. And boy oh boy, was I freaking out.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But yeah, I finished the anime and then I was like, oh, I don't want to finish this game now. But I finished the game because I had to.
Yeah.
And man, I dual played Persona 4 and watched Persona 4, and it was a time.
That sounds like an interesting thing to do, because yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched the anime after I beat the game. The Golden anime, does that follow under your thing, or are you just talking about the base show?
Talking about the base show. I haven't watched fully the Golden anime, though I watched like a little bit of it because there was a there was a sick scene in the Coulson thing, and I wanted to see it in the anime form, and I did, and it was cute. However, yeah, it's the Golden Anime is different because they kind of they skip around basically to Olda Marie scenes, and
yeah, it's like you almost have to slide the episodes into the original season almost, like.
Well, the thing
they
is,
jump around so much.
Yeah, it's that. So you have to know they came, first of all.
Yeah.
And then,
for sure.
two, I think they take it under like a rule of this is New Game Plus for you. Because the Yu's Awakening scene in that one, he's taking on like thousands of shadows, no sweat. Whereas he takes on 3 in the original one. And then like he's very more bold and like, you know, he's like shaking everyone's hand and stuff. So it's almost like, you know, all his stats are maxed out. Like he knows what he's doing a little bit already.
I never thought of it like that, but that does make sense.
Yeah, so I read something that's like, yeah, take this as like, this is a New Game Plus. And I was like, you know what? That actually makes sense. And I watched the first episode and I watched the Sick episode. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But I never actually finished watching the anime, though. That's where a lot of A1 hate comes from, because the animation is different from the original one, so people don't like it. Yeah, they say they ruined the Golden Anime. A lot of people do. I am not one of those people. Granted, I have not seen all of it. But for when I did watch, I was like, it's fine. I still think the original is better because they just did it so well.
Right.
But it's like, it didn't ruin anything. Yeah. That's why a lot of people don't like P5 right now.
Again, I think people who are judging P5, full disclosure, we're about, 5 or 6 episodes into it right now at time of recording?
6, yeah.
6, okay. So, yeah, we've still got quite a bit to go, and I think people who are judging it based on the fact that it's rushed, and, like, I'm sorry, it's how long of a game that they're trying to cram into, like, 22 episodes or 24 episodes?
It's really impressive.
Like, yeah, I completely understand why it's rushed. It is rushed, I'll give you that, but, like, give it some time. We're only 6 episodes in, and if you don't like it, you don't have to watch.
Indeed. I am watching that anime for not really. I'm watching that anime because I love the game like so much. But I'm also watching. I am judging this anime purely on like one scene, and I'm waiting for that scene to come in. You should know what I'm talking about.
Soon. Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, and the aftermath of that scene.
Yeah.
I am like if they don't do what I want them to do, I won't hate it. But I'll be disappointed.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have no expectations going in. I'm expecting a faster retelling of the game, which is pretty much what I'm getting.
Which is what I wanted. So everyone who's like, it's just a retelling, following it closely. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
If you watch pretty much any game adaptation into anime, that's almost what you're guaranteed to get. There are exceptions, but yeah, I mean...
Oh, sorry. Man, I don't know what came over me there.
You got a tickle in your throat there.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Kind of, there's a little bit of salt that came out. That's pretty weird.
Oh man, wouldn't want any salt, especially considering I just made a salt emoji for Discord. Anyway, shameless plug.
Shameless plug right there. But yeah, the Persona series, I love it. P4 is the first show I was obsessed with. That was the first time I watched it. It was weird. It was a weird situation. But yeah, I finished the game, cried after that. And then as my coping mechanism, I watched that anime for a good month or two, almost every day.
Now, it was P5 you were sick during, right? Not P4.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's a different story.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I was like, well, I mean, if you were sick and you just had the time, I can understand watching it for a month straight, but no, you weren't. You just watched it for a month straight because you could.
Yeah. You know, we're gonna that's a different we're gonna get into that story because I have a couple stories to tell during that period. But
of course,
what's the first time you watched your show?
Okay,
how do we get into this?
Yeah, so surprise! My favorite show is Natsume Yojimbo. Who would have guessed? True story. I got into it randomly. I was browsing Crunchyroll, and I was like, I don't have anything to watch right now. I had just gotten into Crunchyroll. Again, every time I like plug Crunchyroll, this isn't an ad. I just happen to really like that site for watching anime.
Unless Crunchyroll, if you want to, sponsor
No,
us.
it's not an ad.
I know.
But yeah, so I'm looking through and I'm just like looking at all the posters for the different shows and this one of a boy sitting on a log with his foot touching the water, same as the figure
you mean
featured
a certain
episodes.
figure you have?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, no, that's the cover for the first season.
That's why you love it so much.
Well, I mean that's part of it, but so yeah, I click on this show not expecting anything. And I watched the first episode. I'm like, I really like that. This is a fun concept of a boy who can see spirits and other people can't, accidentally freeing this cat thing who wants the Book of Friends, and then having to deal with the fact that he's being chased by other yokai spirits, whatever. And then kind of making a deal with this cat thing, saying, "Well, you can have the book after I die." So I'm like, okay, this is an interesting kind of concept. I like this. It's like card captors, but in reverse. Instead of catching all the cards, he's releasing them all.
My brain is trying to process the premise of the show here. I think I got it. It's okay.
You think you got it?
I think I got it. You spoke very fast and excitedly, so
okay.
You're
the
good.
base of the show is he has a book with names in it.
Yeah, and he's gotta release the names.
Give the names back.
Give the names back, but people want control of the names.
He can only give the names because like he can only give back the names to people who he knows their face.
Wow, that makes it complicated.
Yeah, exactly. So he can't just like release all the. They either have to come to him or he has to go find them based on stories he hears. And the show is completely episodic. So other than one little bit near the end of season 6, you can't really be spoiled. I mean, yes, it's a lot of seasons, but they're only like 10 to 13 episodes each. So
okay.
So it's not like a shonen series where you'll get like 8 seasons and it's 100 episodes. It's not that bad.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so he's on a journey to release the names because him holding the names means he holds their life essentially, and he doesn't want that. His grandma was a bit of a troublemaker and just like went all over the place stealing names.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a cute show, and the concept right off the bat, it was like, okay, so it's kind of morbid because like he's acknowledging his mortality right off the bat, but it's still sweet, and he's doing as much as he can while he's alive.
Right.
And then episode 2 happens.
That didn't take long.
It didn't take long. So the concept of episode 2, and I have to go into this to explain my thoughts and feelings of the show, is that there's this god who wants his name back, but Natsume can't give it to him because the piece of paper is stuck to the next piece of paper with like rice. His grandma must have been eating, and it like kind of got all squished together. And so they have to find the other spirit before he can give back both names. And it's a very sweet episode, and you see this old lady going to pray to this little shrine, and she's like the only one who does it anymore. And at the end of the episode, she dies.
Wow.
And so he has no more followers. And you just see Natsume go, well, I'll worship you. I'll follow you. And he's like, no, I can't do that to a friend. And so Natsume says, oh, well, she saw you this one time and she wanted to say that the weather was nice. And every time now I hear, oh, is the weather nice? And oh, yeah, it is. I'm like, I'm just a sobbing mess. And people are like, what? It's just the weather. I'm like, no, it's really sad. Don't mind me. But the fact that this show got me to cry 2 episodes in is almost unheard of for me. It takes me a long time to get that emotionally attached. And then it just snowballed from there because, oh my god, there are so many touching episodes. And I love the fact that in 23 minutes, I can get so emotionally attached to either Natsume or a yokai or the story that's going on and just like sob my heart out for these sweet little stories that are all very individual vignettes. So yeah, my thoughts and feelings of the show when I first watched it, were that, yeah, this was a cute little show that made me emotional. And then it ended. See, at the time I originally watched it, only 2 seasons were out. And the ending for season 2 is kind of like, and then it's over. Oh, that's it. There's no more. And I was like, I was mad. I was really enjoying this cute little show, and then there was no more of it. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess it was just a fun little episodic show, whatever. And then season 3 came out, and I don't know what happened, but it was like, I went from, yeah, that was a cute show I watched a couple of months ago, to, oh my god, this is the best show ever!
Dear Lord, what a roller coaster.
Yep, pretty much. And so, yeah, I went from being kind of ambivalent about the show to being like, yep, no, I love it. And then season 4 happened, and I was really happy. And then I got season 5 and 6, and it was amazing.
Pat?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All the head pats.
Yes. Well, I mean, to be fair, there's lots of head pats in the show. It works.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Wow.
But the point is, I really enjoyed this random episodic show that ended up actually, I felt very personally connected to as the seasons continued to go on and as more is revealed about all the characters. Because even though it's episodic, there is an overarching story, which is really nice. But we'll get into that a little later.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask, is there like, can it end? Is there like an end point?
Yes. There's a couple ways it can end. It can end with him dying.
Right.
Which would be sad.
Yeah.
It can end with the book being emptied. Okay. Although it can continue without the book existing too. So that's kind of like, most likely the show will end when he dies.
All right.
Or both things will happen. He'll end up clearing out the book, and then he will shortly pass. Or we'll skip to when he dies. But yeah, that's the only real way the show can end.
Right. But so basically, if they wanted to, they could just infinitely say the book is filled and he won't die, and you just have episodes.
As far as we see it, the book doesn't look like it's any smaller.
Right.
And we know that Reiko, his grandma, was just like got a whole bunch of yokai all over the place, some dangerous, some not. So yeah, no, and also lately, like an example I can think of, season 3, I think he returned, or season 4, he returns like 2 names the entire season. Like the book is just kind of a MacGuffin at this point. It's more so about the stories about him and his grandma and him dealing with the world of human and yokai and exorcist and the balance. And yeah.
That's good. It's nice when it kind of how to describe this, where it's like focused on the one thing, like the book, but then it develops into something more than just the book and giving away names. It's developing into like more relationships or dealing with the world or what have you. That's always always fun. I don't know if it's fun's the word, but touching.
No, it is fun, especially because like a lot of the characters you don't meet till quite late in the series. The only characters that are like recurring that you meet in season 1 are his best friend, his 2 friends who don't see or know about yokai, 1 exorcist, and 2 like mid-level class yokai. Like their names are literally like Chukyu, which is mid-class yokai. They don't have names.
I see.
And then in season 2 you get a couple more characters, and then in season 3 you get a lot of people consider this guy the antagonist. He's not. You're wrong. Sorry.
I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. And then after that, you don't really get any new characters, but like other than like yokai that occasionally come and get added to the cast.
Right.
But yeah, so it's actually a slow trickle. Like it's one of those shows where if I recommend to people, it's like it takes a really long time to like get to a point where you can see the plot is happening, but that's part of its charm. It's so chill, even though it's also filled with blood and scary imagery at times. It's a weird mishmash of shows.
And sick episodes. I've heard about sick episodes.
Oh my god, so many sick episodes. I love it. There's almost like 1 per season, if not 2 in one of the seasons. No, it's good. I like it. But going back to Persona for a bit, is there a favorite like episode or bit from the Persona 4 anime? Like I have an assumption on what could be here, but I want to hear it from you.
I don't know. You're asking me my favorite bit.
Or episode.
Right. Well, there's so many really good ones, right? It's hard to place a favorite on any of them. Like God, okay. Sorry. It's hard for me to focus, man. So there's his awakening scene, which is like really cool. Okay, there's when he's helping Kanji, because that's when he fuses for the first time, and that's really sick. Because everyone's like, "What the fuck did he just do?" And he's like, "Yep, I'm a badass." Actually, he doesn't say that, but he's just like, "I could just do this." So, yeah, Arakami's great. There's oh, sorry. Okay, I think I figured it out.
Yeah, okay, good.
Because this episode, like, it didn't like touch me. Actually, no, it kind of did touch me emotionally. So the ending of season 1 is where they think they found the dude who's responsible for the murders.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a kid, and this is kind of a spoiler for the episode because I can't really talk about my feelings without spoiling it. So your warning is now. But like in the middle of that fight, like they get to it, and Yu's like going through feelings of like, what happens when we figure it out? Like, will I lose all my friends? Because this is like the only thing I'm useful for, as almost every Persona protagonist does. They're like, I'm the Persona protagonist. Like, I'm strong here, but am I strong anywhere else? You know? And like, I can kind of identify with that. Like, not that like I'm only good in one location, but it's just like you feel like if you're not useful somewhere, people are gonna abandon you.
Okay.
So I'm just like, oh, dude, no. And then you get to the fight, and it just time skips. And you're like, wait, what? And it's like it time skips to after the fight, and like they won, and like everyone's celebrating. However, it goes through like more time skips of like days passing, and slowly all his friends are like not hanging out with him anymore. The only one who's hanging out with him is Yosuke, and like everyone else has basically abandoned him. And I'm like, this can't be happening. Like, it was hurting me. I was almost in tears. So I was like, no, this can't be happening. And suddenly he gets like in his room, and suddenly a shadow's in there, and that's when it clicks to me that it's like, oh, this is just a fucking illusion. Like, I instantly get happy because the shadow's in his room, and I'm like, that can't happen. So like, because so I was a smart girl, and I was like, oh, it's an illusion. Okay, what's gonna happen next? Like, I'm pumped. And he's like, he gives up basically, and then suddenly you hear Yosuke's voice saying like, dude, I'm here, grab my hand, and his hand comes out of nowhere, and he gets pulled out of the shadow because he was in an illusion, and for him, he was in that illusion for months, right?
Oh.
And so I'm like, oh my god. And so like Yosuke's just like, are you all right? And Yu's like, he doesn't usually show emotion, but he's like, you can see he's like really shaken up, but he's like, dude, thank you, like for being there for me, kind of feel. And then after that, you basically single-handedly takes down that shadow. And I'm like I was so touched and freaking, I am a sucker for like just awesome moments, like awe-inspiring moments, and that was one of them.
Nice.
Where it's just like he gets back and everyone's like worried sick about him, right? And the last thing the shadow said before he got taken out of the illusion is, you have no bonds, like your bonds are all empty. You're just an empty person, basically, and that's basically what he was scared of. And so after seeing like everyone being all like, "Dude, are you okay?" Okay, and they're all like, "You got it. Here, take out the last shot," because everyone else uses their personas to like stop the shadow from getting armor on him. Right. So he's like exposed. So he freaking. I always remember this, but it does a like little camera thing where it slowly zooms in, and he says, "You says like I am far from empty," and he just starts summoning a million. Like he keeps summoning persona after persona after persona to counter everything the shadow does, and everyone's like, "Whoa, how many personas does he have?" Right? So I always like that because I'm just like, "Yes, Protag is showing off his power. I love it."
Yep.
And then he does like he's just like he's throwing out all his feelings, saying, like, I'm here for my friends, and I can, like, stop you right now. Here, let me show you what I can actually do because of my bonds and how real they are, kind of deal. And, like, that episode always is, like, I get to it, and I'm like, oh, my God, this episode is so good. Like, it hits me in the feels almost every time. And, yeah. And then afterwards, basically, like, he defeats the shadow, and they go back to the reality, and it basically starts with where that time skip happened, like the exact same line. And you're like, oh God, is it going to end up the same? Because people like immediately, like not immediately start like leaving, but they kind of, their feelings aren't like nice, I guess. Mm-hmm. And it starts there, and I'm like, you're immediately like, on edge, like it's not going to happen like the same way, is it? And you can see you is like feeling that, but he's like, no, it's not. That was a Shadow's lie. And then it turns out, yeah, it was, because everyone was really happy and stuff. And Nanako is there, and she's like, big bro, you're the best cook. And everyone laughed, and oh man, it's such a good episode. The whole dynamic of everybody in that anime is really good. And
it is. It's one of the things I think P4 does a little better than P5 is get the characters interacting with each other.
Yes.
A bit better. Like, I care more about the other characters in P4 than I did P5.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you see their darkest, deepest secret. Like,
because the whole thing is you have to accept your true self, right?
Exactly.
Whereas in P5, it's like you have to. Yeah, it's
the only character you see that with is Futaba, and who's a lot of people's favorite character.
Futaba, best character except for Ren. Sorry. But yeah, because P5 is like let your rebellious spirit go rather than accept your dark. Like, because they basically use their dark sides.
All about. Yeah.
Yeah, because they summon, like, you always summon devils, because that's what Persona is you're summoning shadows, right? But it's like, this is like, let out your rebellious thoughts and stuff. Like, use the darkness within you to fight out other darkness, basically. So you don't get that, like, moment of acceptance. You get, like, a little bit, but basically it's acceptance of their situation and how they want to fight back.
Yeah, exactly, and the fact that they feel powerless in this world where adults and society wants them to be a certain way, and they don't want to be that way. That's what they're rebelling against. And it's just not as... it is universal, but it's not as powerful as the dark secret that you hold in your heart, or the things that you occasionally think that make you think, oh, shit, is that really who I am?
Yeah, it's only powerful if... you're going through that situation, which I could, that's a different episode, which is why P5 is higher.
We'll talk about P5, don't worry.
Yeah, but
probably when the anime ends, we'll have a huge episode on it.
Oh man, yes, but yeah, I love that part. P4 is still like it's only barely under P5 because both of these games affected me like mentally.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so P4 I played in actual high school, playing a virtual high school game in my real high school game. Get it? But yeah, I didn't like I'd like to say that I didn't accept the truth about myself, basically, at the time. It wasn't anything serious. It was more like I didn't like to, embrace the fact that I liked video games, I liked making film, I liked being a nerd. Like, I never came out of my shell, basically, because I didn't want to say that in front of anyone. And then I played this game, and I was like, fuck it. I'm done. Everyone, I'm a nerd! If you know me now, you know that I fully embrace the fact that I'm a nerd. That's only because I played Persona 4.
I actually had a similar revelation, because I moved across the country, right? So everyone back in my hometown, they knew I was a nerd. It's not like I could hide it. So I was like, I won't be a nerd here. And then I went through one school because I was there for 8 months, and they have middle school here. And so I went through eight months of middle school. And I was like, yeah, I like some nerdy things, but I kept it mostly under wraps. And then high school happened. And I'm like, no, fuck it. That sucked.
Yeah, right?
Nerd.
I definitely I never really enjoyed high school. God, I hated it. But, like, after that moment, like, I played it in junior year, so it wasn't a lot of more time to, like, enjoy. But senior year, I acted basically like my normal self, right? So I was talking about nerds. I was being super snarky and sassy to, like, my softball teammates. And, like, everybody was like, who the hell are you? And I'm like, I'm just being my normal self, guys. Sorry it took so long. It's only been 8 years since you've known me.
I'm Canadian, so what year is junior?
Sorry, yeah, my bad. Junior is the third year of high school, and we have 4.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, sorry, yes, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I usually know. I'm just like I always get confused with freshman and junior. I always like swap them. So that's why I was like, this is either the first year or the third year, but I don't know which.
So 11th grade.
There we go.
There we go. Sorry, I'll try and not be American.
No, it's okay. I just want to clarify.
That's good. That's good. But yeah, I played P4 towards the end of that year, and like softball basically was over. And so senior year, I went in. I went in senior year and I was in like full JRPG mode. Like I was playing Trails of Cold Steel. Well, I just said it before the podcast. Tales of the Abyss. Like I was playing all these things at at school in lunch. Like if I could get away with it in class, I'm a good student. Don't worry about it. And
I mean, you passed.
I
so
did
it's
pass.
all good.
Yeah, man, it was easy. But yeah, I started being really more. I started being like my normal self, like how I'm at home.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were surprised because I was just the quiet one in the corner. I didn't talk a lot and stuff. And I was like, accept me now
Or don't.
Or don't.
Because, like, I mean, how many of those people from high school do you even see or talk to anymore?
Like 2, and they're both
right?
teachers.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, like I'd love to talk.
I've kept in contact with
Yeah.
I can't talk, but yeah.
It's like I've tried, right?
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
Aw.
No one responds to my texts. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, sad times.
You know what I'm surprised, though? That you didn't even mention Orewa Kings.
The Kings game?
Yeah.
No, it's like I was going towards there, but then suddenly episode 12 hit me in the face. And I was like,
Fair enough.
my God, I'm an idiot.
It's a better episode, to be fair. Like, that Kings game bit is hilarious.
Yeah, but it doesn't really do... Like, it's just
No.
there for comic relief and the fact that there's P3 music being used that whole episode. Yeah, I will shout out the Kings game, because, like, I can watch that scene over and over and over again, and I will laugh every single time. It helps that Yu is drunk and he does some silly things.
No, quote-unquote drunk. It was...
Sorry, they were drunk on the atmosphere.
Yes.
Right? And
Yeah.
and it was great. And Naoto's like, everyone's an idiot here.
Yep.
I don't like Naoto. Naoto's my favorite girl in that game, by the way. Anyway.
We're not there yet.
I know. Oh, was that a question? I'm sorry.
Fave character is...
Oh, that's not Naoto.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
You silly girl.
Okay, I'll give you that much.
Thank you. But yeah, man. Yeah, so I watched that anime. I played the game, and that's why I am the way I am. And
yay!
And it was good. Episode 12 always really hit me. And it wasn't like, because the last episode of the anime also hit me really hard, but that's like with feels of the fact that he's going away.
Yeah.
Like the middle episode was more like him trying to figure out, like, am I useless? Like, do people actually care if the Persona world is gone, kind of deal? And then that gets resolved, and it's like, it's such a good episode of him trying to resolve his own feelings.
Yeah.
And it's great.
That whole part of the game is great too. Like, just,
yeah. Because you're a silent protagonist, right? So it's like, it's not, you get the, like, text of, like, how you quote unquote think, but you don't get as much personality as what they did to you in Persona 4, the anime. They, like, they made him a good, like, good character. I'm trying to say in depth, and I have to, like, make sure. I think they build on him really well. I still think since Joker actually has a backstory, he's a more in-depth character. Just because
I would agree with that.
He comes into the game with, like, a motivation, right? So that's why I think Joker's better than Yu Narukami.
And I know a lot of people are bitching about that the anime isn't really giving him a good character. That last episode that aired showed his character perfectly, and I loved it. Like, when they're talking on the corner, oh my God, that was beautiful.
It was. I saw that, and he was like, don't move. I was like, yes, I'm getting what I want. It's so good. And the fact that, like, immediately when they go into the metaverse, and he immediately switches, like, kind of personas. Get it? And everyone comments on it. It's just like, whoa, dude, that was fast. You can see his dual personality, like, right away.
Yeah.
And we're 6 episodes in, and he hasn't even gotten, like, I'm loving what they're doing with his character right now, and it's good.
But no, I know a lot of people were complaining that he wasn't an interesting character. I'm like, are we watching the same show? I think they're doing a good job. I mean, again, we're only 6 episodes in. They could make it better, or they could fuck it up. I don't know yet.
Right.
It's a little early to judge, but no, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, and I was confused that, like, he doesn't have a character. When I was like, episode 2, he's in his Joker outfit, and you can already see the difference. He acts differently already. Like, I mean, it could be because I'm more paying attention to it, maybe. Like, I am super aware of a lot of things that happen in this anime, for better or for worse.
True.
So it's like, I see it, and I see the tone shift, and I see the way he's acting slightly differently compared to both And as well as he's an amateur at this right now, and they're actually showing the fact that he does not really know what he's doing in the beginning. I really like that. And I can't wait to see how much he develops, because I feel like a lot of people forget the first 5 minutes of the anime where they show, you know, basically the beginning of the game. And you see kind of how confident he is, how well he knows to do things. Like, you can see where he's going to end up, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like, knowing how far along the timeline that is would help.
And so I'm just like, people who are kind of complaining about it, I'm like, did we watch the same thing? Did you pay attention to this? Like, it's there. But yeah, that's Persona 5. Man, I love Persona 5. But also Persona 4 is what I'm talking about today. And man, Persona 4. Hi, Chie. I'll pet you. You're my plush. Yeah, man. I love both those games. Persona 4 changed me, and that anime is helped me cope with not having the game anymore.
Aww.
I didn't have that with Persona 5. That's another story. Okay. You can talk about Natsume again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to talk about my favorite show again.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. This is going to be us the whole episode. It's all good.
Yeah.
So, my favorite bit arc episode. Oh boy. Okay, anyone who's talked to me outside of the podcast knows that whenever I'm rewatching the show, which we'll get into, I always am like, oh no, next episode's so good, to the point where people are like, you say that about every episode.
Oh yeah.
True.
Oh yes.
But if I had to pick a favorite, I'm stuck between two. So one is an arc where, so Natsume is an orphan. His parents died when he was young. His mother died when he was born, and his dad died a couple of years later. So he's been shuffled around from family to family, never really knowing a stable home, because he creeped everybody out, saying that he could see things that they couldn't. And even when he tried to not tell them he could see things that they couldn't, he'd still do weird things that would freak him out.
Right. So he never grew up with, like, an attachment to, like, a parent figure or what have you.
No, and in fact, he's terrified. Like, he's absolutely terrified of being rejected again. So he's really, really accommodating, to the point where people are like, well, he's weird, so we don't want to be around him. And it's not until this one family finds him and says, do you want to come live with us, that he finally feels like he has a home. He's welcome to stay there till he wants to move out, if he ever wants to move out, type of thing, right? Mm-hmm. And so the two episodes actually have to do with that specific theme of home. The first one is, I believe, in season, and it's a multi-episode, because it's an episodic show, but there are a couple of arcs where you'll get like 2 to 3 episode chunks that are the same story. And in this one, his house that he grew up in with his dad is being sold. Oh. It had been being kept by a nearby family, just in case he ever wanted to, like, sell it himself or move back in. It was technically his asset, but he was a child, so, like, what are you going to do with a house?
Right.
But they finally found somebody to buy it, and the guy goes, do you want to go see it one more time before it's gone? Because they're most likely going to demolish it and, like, turn it into something else. And at first, he lies to himself and everyone around him, saying, no, I'm okay. I don't need to see it. I don't need to go. And then, after poking and prodding by his friends and his family, he eventually finds the courage to say, you know what, actually, yeah, I would like to see it just one more time. I don't remember it, but because he was 2 when he moved out. But yeah, he wants to see it just one more time. And so the first episode focuses on his journey to the house, where he actually, by the end of the first episode of that arc, he gets possessed by a yokai.
Oh, good.
Who wants to eat his sadness and his loneliness.
Aww.
And so the first episode is him getting to the house and meeting the people he stayed with, who lived closest to the house, because he did stay with them at one point. And then the second episode is him remembering actually how they were acting during that time, and how he was trying so hard to not creep them out and just like failing miserably because he can't help it. He can't tell the difference between a human and a spirit half the time.
Oh, I see.
So
that's hard.
Yeah, so he'll be talking to something, it's really a spirit, and it's like, well, damn.
Well, yeah, that's kind of not fair. He's like,
Yeah.
well, I can't. Yeah.
And so after expelling that demon, before he expels that demon, there's a line in the show. And I feel like I might cry saying it, but that's okay.
Okay.
Where he talks about he ends up being trapped in a thunderstorm, and the parents find him, and they have to apologize to the town for helping them to look. And nobody's mad. It was an accident. It all just happened. But he's terrified that he's going to get rejected because of this. And the daughter of the family he's staying with says, just get out, go, leave. Scares him off, and he runs away. And the voiceover of the adult character says, he was calling out for his dad. And sometimes, sorry.
It's okay, Kat. It's okay.
It was that moment where he realized that sometimes you have to stop calling out for someone because they can't call back, and you can't live in the past.
Oh.
And it was just that moment where I felt personally, because I've been through some stuff. We've all been through some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, oh my god, this character is like me. He was trying so hard to ignore the past to the point where he forgot it. And being reminded of it is painful, but forgetting it is also painful. And not being able to call out for the person you want to call out for is painful. It all hurts. But in the end, he's okay. He's grown up, and he's living a normal life to a point. I mean, as far as you can when you can see spirits.
Spirits definitely doesn't help, but he's trying.
Yeah, that's definitely a difficult hurdle to jump over. But yeah, no, the being able to get past it to a point where you can live a normal life, it gave me hope, because there are times where I feel like I haven't gotten past the thing, and I should have. It's been a long time, but it's just one of those things where that episode helped me. It is my favorite episode. It is just so heartwarming and touching, and eventually he does break free of the possession, and he goes and he sees his home, and he doesn't remember anything because he was 2.
Right.
And then he's like, come on, let's go home, like to the home he's made with his new family. And it's just, oh, it's so touching. I love it so much. And it's hard to talk about because
Yeah.
But
that's
and
how
then,
you... Okay. See?
Hmm? No, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying that's how you know it's an anime that really touches you when you simply talk about one line and it makes you that emotional. Like, it affects you that much. That's always, like, anime can do some really strong emotional things, and it's
storytelling in general. Like, if anything resonates with me to that point, like, and this is really the only thing I can think of that has quite gotten me to that level.
Right.
Where I can't talk about the weather. I can't talk about going to a doctor. I can't talk about the thing that happens in season 4. And it's just like, I'm a crying mess. And I haven't actually cried yet. I held it back, but man, that was hard.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because it definitely sounded like you were crying.
No. I was, like I said, the first thing to go is my voice, but no tears were shed, so yay.
But emotion was definitely there, everyone.
Emotion was there. And then the other episode, which isn't quite a downer as much.
That's good.
So I've mentioned before that a family found him. They were like very, very distantly related, and they found him because there's a time when they were at a funeral, and the husband of the wife that eventually goes and seeks him out is like, I saw this kid and he was gaunt and he kind of wasn't all there, and I feel like living in the countryside may really help him. Mm-hmm. They don't know anything of the situation other than he is an orphan and the family is trying to get rid of him, which is just so sad.
Yeah, that's really sad. You're making me sad talking about this anime, Kat.
Yeah. so she goes and she hunts him down, and this is season 5 or season 6 where we get this episode. It's a great episode. She's made a little crow friend, and he's like, he'll warn her whenever it rains and whatever. And then at the end of the episode, she goes, he's now living with them and it's good. And she goes, oh, that's my crow. It's like, oh, that's cool. There are 2 of them. I didn't know white crows existed.
Oh no.
Because he can see it, but she can't. And
Right.
I'm like, you pretty much just admitted the so much. So good.
I'm gonna wind back. You pretty much admitted what? Because you cut out.
Oh, he pretty much admitted that he could see things that she couldn't.
Right, yeah.
Even though he's been trying so desperately to hide it the entire time.
Man,
and he
that's not
didn't even
fair.
know he did it.
That's not even fair! How is that fair? Oh man. And
Yep.
it doesn't end well, does it?
No, it ends fine because she understands that there are things he's not ready to talk about yet. So she goes, oh yeah, I wish she mutters that she wished she could see it as well. But he doesn't hear her, and it's just like, oh, I love Toko. She's adorable. So yeah, those are my favorite arcs. One because of, oh my god, God, you did the thing that you weren't supposed to do. You goofball.
You goofball. You tried so hard, yet it happened.
Yeah, he just admitted it, and it's like his cat knows that he admitted it because he can tell what's a spirit and what's not.
Oh, why doesn't the cat help him? Sorry.
Because he doesn't.
Because he's an asshole.
No, because he's like me in that regard. It's like the torture.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, that's good times.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump back to Persona. Who's your favorite character?
Fucking oh man. Okay. You?
What? Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh,
You're my
wow,
favorite
I'm
character.
The best Persona character.
Right? Narukami.
Right?
Narukami-kun. I've already slightly talked about this, but they give him a personality that's like it's hard to, because I know more now, right? Like director's comments and stuff, so I know what they were trying to do, and they were trying to make him like his character is like he's loyal like a guard dog. Like his friends need him, he'll be there, and he'll be there when he's called and what have you and stuff. Though it's funny because I feel like that's kind of every Persona protagonist, because that's kind of the game, is you help your confidants / social links, but you know
you have to,
yeah. But that's more of his personality, whereas like, you know, Joker I think is more like the leader type. You know, he's a leader too, right? But like he's more of like
let's all work together.
Yeah. He's more of making everybody mesh together and making it work even when like the odds are against him, kind of deal, right? But yeah, they give Yu Narukami such like a character. He was such a blank slate in the game. Such a blank slate. You can make him anything, right? And in the anime, they give him a person. He's his own person. And it almost is just amazing to see, like, you could play the game completely different from Yu Narukami, right? And then you can watch the anime and be like, oh, this is like a different way to play through the game.
Because, doesn't he, like, talk back to the teacher, like, right off the bat?
You can, but you need enough courage, or...
In the game, in the anime, doesn't he just do it? Like, or am I thinking of Golden?
I think you're thinking of Golden.
Okay.
Because, he, God, I'm sorry, because P5 is also in my brain, so I'm like, wait a second, people start whispering about him. No, they don't, that is P5. He gets introduced... Yeah, the teacher yells at him, Mr. What's-his-face, yeah. And he's like, whoa.
With the teeth.
Yeah, with the teeth. And he's like, whoa, I'm sorry. And then she is like, oh, he can sit down right here. Like, to stop him. And the teacher's like, yeah, you heard her. Go sit down right there. And he's like, okay. But at the beginning, he's like, he doesn't really interact with anyone. He's just like, okay, I'm in the country. I guess I have to live a year here. Whatever. I'll live, right? And then just like episode 1, you see how much of like he doesn't kind of care. And then he doesn't Does he awaken at the end of episode 1? He does. Like,
It's been a long time, so
I think he does. Just within episode 1, you can see him grow. And I'm like, wait a second. That was fast. You already see him starting to care about Chie and Yosuke. And then he awakens his persona, and he's like, oh, this is power that I have to protect people with. Okay. And it just grows from there. Like, you get to know each character, and then you get to know his bonds to each character, and, like, every character has their moments with him, and... Kami is a good character.
If we have to discount main characters, who would be your second favorite?
Okay, that's not fair. It's hard because I Naoto probably. Though I
figured.
I do like Nanako. Nanako's just adorable.
Nanako's pretty awesome too, yeah.
Nanako is amazing. Big bro. So good. But yeah, I probably would pick if like if my situation was different, I might like Nanako better.
Oh, fair enough.
But it's not. So Naoto it is because the fact that she's trying to hide she's smart, she knows she is, but it's in like a guy dominated system, so she tries to hide her true self. Helps that the game is basically about this, so having a character like this works really well. But she tries to hide the fact that she's a girl in the police force, and she does it very intensely. Like, she wraps herself, she tries to deepen her voice, and she wears like shoes that make her taller, right? And everything. And her part in the bar scene, like, she gets introduced kind of as an antagonist. Mm-hmm. And that was different from almost every other character. I was going to compare her to
somebody, but I'm like, oh, I better not. I want her to character.
If you're going to compare her to who I think you are about to compare her to.
I'm just saying, as far as being presented as an antagonistic investigative force.
Kat?
That's really the only thing they share in common, but you know I'm right.
Kat! I don't know if I can speak anymore. I am now angry.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so she's...
But she's a better version of that character, because she's...
Yeah, because she's a good... Okay. So she gets introduced as kind of the bad guy, and everyone's like, whoa now, like, don't... What's it to you? You don't need to... I know you're the detective prince, but this is our life. Like, you don't talk to us. And then basically what she's deducing is almost right on point, and you can see them kind of worrying about it. Mm-hmm. And she gets the information, because she just, like, basically reads her body language. She's like, okay, I got what I needed. Leaving now. And everyone's like, wait, you're leaving now? Like, she got what she needed, but for all they know, they didn't say anything, right? So that puts them on guard. And then before you know it, she's in the TV world, and they're like, "Oh no!" Like, no, they realize she's on TV, that she's really willingly risking herself to test something.
Yeah. And
she's like, they all freak out, and they check the TV, and yep, she's there, and so they go in to save her, and like her shadow situation is so much different because she kind of knows she doesn't know what's going on, but she thinks she has control, so she's like, bad-mouthing her own shadow and what have you, and that's already way different from almost everyone else. Mm-hmm. And then the shadow hits her right in the sore spot, and that's when she loses control, and everyone else has to come in to help. And then Kanji does Kanji things, and it's great. But the fact that her storyline was complete, like, very different than the others made me interested in her. And then it was kind of the fact of, like, she was trying to deny the fact that she's a girl and all these other things so she can move up in the way she wanted to, but she has to realize that no, that's part of who she is, and no matter how much she tries to hide it, it's part of who she is, so she should take it, accept it, and move on with what she has. Mm-hmm. And like, it's hard to say because, like, a lot of the times I'm like, man, it's tough being, like, a girl gamer, or it's tough being a girl in this situation, what have you. And I've been like, man, it'd be not easier if I was a freaking guy. I don't feel that way anymore, partially because of this game. But, yeah, at the time I was like, yep, I kind of identify with you, Naoto. Like, it could be easier if I wasn't this way, but she accepted it, and I was like, well, it is this way, so what am I going to do about it? Let's move on. So, yeah. Naoto I identify with. You I like because I like main male protagonists.
Yeah, I'd actually say Kanji is my favorite character.
Yeah? He's yeah. He's a good character.
I like the growth of him because, like, he's such a tough looking dude, but he likes such cute things.
That's how he beats his shadow. I love it.
Yeah, and I am similar in the way, like, I'm not cutesy on the outside, but I adore cute shit, like...
Yeah.
So I identified with him in that regard. It's like, yeah, I don't want to be made fun of for liking cutesy shit, especially because most of my friends are male.
Right, yeah.
So I just kind of, like, tone it down a bit, and then people see, like, how frilly, if I could dress the way I could afford, like, everything would just be covered in frills and sparkle and
sparkles.
And yeah, people who know me would be like, really? That seems like the opposite of you. It's like, no, I love that shit. I just, like, I'm shy about it.
Yeah.
So I like Kanji because he kind of, like, accepts the fact that liking cutesy stuff is okay no matter how you look.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah,
we like the characters we identify with.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's part of what makes P4 so strong. Everyone will identify with someone.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to, especially since a lot of that game is delving deep into, like,
Yeah.
who they are, which is that game again, which is why a lot of people like it more, which is perfectly fair. But yeah, they find a way so you could identify with someone.
Yeah,
which is always really good for a game to do because it helps you get emotionally attached a little emotionally attached.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucks that she comes into the party so late though. But the fact
I was gonna say that's the only thing I dislike about Naoto is that she plays a little differently than everybody else in the sense like she uses a gun, right?
She uses a gun, and she's the only one who has almighty damage.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, she's
I
good.
used her.
Yeah, I didn't, but she was good. I just never used her.
She was also my waifu. She was who I dated. Anyway, yeah.
Mine was Yukiko.
Mm-hmm. Actually, my first one, I did a bad and I dated two people because I didn't have Naoto yet. So I dated Chie first, and then I felt bad. I was like, sorry. But yeah, her storyline was good too. Because again, it was more like, oh man, if I remember correctly, she was getting kind of like Sei, which is kind of spoilers. Mm-hmm. Where she was focusing more on like the job of like having to be good, having to beat out the males and stuff, because she's a girl. But she gets reminded because of her grandfather of the fact that no, she liked doing this ever since she was young because she was good at it and she liked helping people, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And so she got reminded of that during her storyline. She's like, wow, I forgot about this. Thanks, Grandpa. And I like it because the thing is like Phantom Thief B. Mm-hmm. Phantom Thief B is the grandpa's moniker. And I'm like, at the time I didn't care because I hadn't played Trails yet. So
yeah,
whatever.
But now forever been ruined.
Now I'm like, that's funny. Yeah. But yeah, Naoto's storyline was a good. And her awakening in the anime, great, because we're talking about the anime and not the game.
I know.
I'm getting the two mixed up.
Connected.
Yeah, they're really connected. Because in the game, I felt a little bit more because when she's like getting attacked by her own shadow about the fact she's a girl, you hear her voice change. She goes from like being her like right, not like her deep voice, and then someone is just like, you're just a girl who can't do anything, and she goes into her high voice going like, no, stop it, and you hear the difference. Yeah, so, like that's the moment where everyone's like, "Oh shit!" Like it's true, and that hit me where it was like, "Oh no!" Like she was in control, and then she got really rattled. You see how rattled she got, like how much she needed our help and stuff. Yes, Naoto's a good character. In the anime, her fight is really cool though, as well, because she gives up basically. Like she's like, "I can't fight this," and then Kanji's all like, "So what?" I've dealt with this too. No matter who you are, you can be, whatever. You can do it no matter who you are.
Sauna. Yours is like a side thing. I think you can.
My shadow was a lot more embarrassing than this. Poor Kanji.
I love him.
Yeah, that was good. But
I
yeah.
love that in the art book they describe like what kind of hair they wanted him to have, and it's like his hairline receding like with each version.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. That's good. That's good. This is a good character discussion because we've talked about quite a few.
Oh yeah.
I know Taylor likes Chie the most.
And I understand why people like Chie the most, but yeah.
Like, there's a type for almost every person, honestly. Like, and if you don't, yeah, there's almost someone for everyone.
Yeah.
Not
I don't think I've played any of the Persona games and gone like, oh, I don't like any of these.
Right. They're very good at making like them likable, except for one bastard.
The one I didn't mention earlier?
Yes! The one that a lot of people like for stupid reasons. Oh my god. Okay. The same reason why I know, the same reason why you don't like that other character who gets away with stuff. We should have a rant about that.
That's probably why I don't like him either.
We should have a rant
He
about that.
reminds me of the other guy.
We should have Anyway, sorry. Man, we are having a lot of good tangents, but yes. Your favorite character in Natsume Yujinsho, however, I think I know who it is.
Do you?
I mean, it could be two people.
Well, you can give it a shot. You don't need to know their name. You can say what you know about them.
Red Eyes?
No.
Nah, damn it. Well, if it's not Natsume, then sorry. I don't know anyone else. Unless you want Nyanko. Those are about
it's not Nyanko.
It's the only people I know.
Of course, I love Natsume Takashi, the main character, and Natsume Reiko, his grandma. I usually kind of lump them together because they serve a lot of the same purpose, just in different times.
Right.
And yes, I love them. I identify with Natsume so much. But not my favorite character.
Isn't that his name? Oh, damn it. I was going to say Mataba, but...
Yeah, no, not Mataba. I'll talk about Mataba in a second. So Takitoru is a character you don't meet till season 2. She goes around drawing these like random circles that allow people who have latent ability to see spirits. And so she's on the hunt for this yokai that cursed her almost a year ago and will go and kill the last 13 people whose name she said. And she accidentally says Natsume's name, so he eventually helps her. And she knows he can see spirits because she saw a spirit who's like, oh yeah, Natsume can see us. So he's like, great, thanks. And one of her main character traits is that she loves cute things, which, as I just discussed, I enjoy. And she loves Nyanko. So every time she sees him, she just scoops him up in a big old hug and gives him all the snuggles. And I'm like, yep, this is me.
Yeah, that's actually you.
This is actually me. Like,
Kitty! Hug.
Exactly. And so, yeah, she's easily one of my favorite characters, if we're not counting main characters.
Right.
And like I said before, Natsume is my favorite character, for sure. 100%.
The reason why I'm favorite. Always.
Oh, yeah. Always. Almost always. It all depends. Because, like, I don't like the MC in Tales of Symphonia, but, like, I also don't like Symphonia, so...
Easy is where we differ.
Oh, yeah.
Because you like MC, but I don't. I mean, I do, but I like someone else better.
You like a character more than MC.
Yeah.
A character who has a couple of emotes on the disc. Okay, I already plugged.
We plugged twice now. All right. Moving on.
All right. So, yeah, the reason why Matsuba isn't my favorite character, he probably is, but he's not because of this one reason. When you first meet him, he scared the shit out of me. Like, he is bad at first impressions, 100%. Just the worst first impression you could ever imagine a character giving. He actually attacks me, the main character.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's stupid. Okay. Yeah.
And then, like, you've seen pictures of him. He's just generally creepy looking. Like, he looks like he's always plotting and up to no good. And that's not who he is. It's just like he's always smiling. I have a feeling somebody told him when he was young, people would like you more if you smiled. And so he just always smiles, but it just, like, got that much worse. I'm not saying that happened, but I'm totally saying that's a headcanon.
Headcanon.
Just like, oh, people ran away from me. Well, I guess it's better than them being mad at me. But yeah, no, for a long time, I didn't like him because he scared the shit out of me, and because the show constantly reinforces that he's not a good dude, that he'll do anything to meet an end result. Until the 15th volume / season 6.
Jesus.
Something happens then, and it completely turned my opinion of this character around, because it made me stop thinking that we had met the antagonist so late in the show and realized, oh, wait, no, I was wrong.
Oh, is this when certain voice actor comes in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that, though, because a lot of people disagree with me on the fact that that character is the antagonist.
Well, a lot of people disagree with me in another case as well, so hey.
Well, the thing is, the antagonist is anyone who's trying to stop the protagonist from completing their goal. So, therefore, that definition alone makes the other character the antagonist. I'm not wrong.
Okay.
But, yeah, no, I rewatched the show after that revelation, and I saw that not only did Mataba do nothing wrong, other than the, attacking him, that was bad.
Yeah.
To be fair, he didn't think he was human. He thought he was a yokai.
Okay.
Because he's not the only one who can't tell the difference. But yeah, also I have theories about that, but we're not, that's a wrap. We don't have time.
We do not. We have been going on for a decently long time.
Oh, Jeeves. So yeah, he hasn't done anything wrong. The only things we know that are against him are said by another character. And yeah.
Oh, I see where you're going here.
Yeah, and so yeah, it was just like, I started to like them more and more. And I've even written a little what if fanfic if Toko, the one who had the crow friend, and Mataba like randomly met and kind of like became friends. And people seem to enjoy that. You can read that, guys. Maybe we'll link it in the description. But yeah, it's one of those things where I have grown to like him more. Is he my favorite character? No, Taki is my favorite character. I adore her because I am her. And actually, is it the 15th today? It is. It's her birthday today.
Well,
so,
what do you know?
I know, 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago on Tuesday, it was her birthday.
Well, yeah, now we know. Now they know when we recorded.
Whatever. We've already established we have a buffer.
That's great, because that just reminds me of the fact that certain character that I've been yelling at already this episode that we haven't named, his birthday's the same day as mine.
Oh my god!
And when I found out, I raged so hard. I like threw my phone on like against pillows. I was like, "This is stupid! Why did Atlas do this to me?" Anyway, moving on. Yeah. Sorry.
It was fun because one of the cafes we went to in Japan last year, we went on her birthday. I didn't know it was her birthday, and so they had it all decorated for her. And I was like, "That's so cute."
Should have had cats roaming around.
Oh man, it wasn't a cat cafe, but yeah. It was actually in an arcade. Like, some of their cafes are in arcades. It's kind of weird, but it's
pretty
awesome.
cool, actually.
Yeah. So these last couple of points should go pretty quick because we are running out of time.
Look at
how many times have you rewatched before?
Fuck. As I said earlier, that it was my coping mechanism. So I watched it almost every day for like a month or two. So I don't know how many times I rewatched it, because also I'd go back and watch certain parts over again and blah, 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 blah. I'd like to say within a month or two I watched it maybe 5 to 7 times.
That's impressive.
A 26? Yep. 26 episode anime. Yeah. I watched it a lot because, like, when I'm in a game hole, like, I get this feeling, like, if I don't do the thing that I really want to do, like, except I have to fight
You'll
it.
just do and do nothing?
Yeah, I'll sit and do nothing. Right? So it's just like, I have this like weird feeling of just like, oh god, why? Like almost crushing feeling if I'm not doing one of the things, right? So like for P4, I was like, if I'm not watching that anime, I feel like not good. So yes, this is bad, but don't worry about it. So I watched the anime almost every day because every time I felt released, I guess. Which was, yeah, have it on. I watched it a lot. The same thing happened with P5, except I didn't have any anime to recover, and I didn't want to restart it because I knew it would be bad. So, so I just had to sit out the whole month. I was in a game hole, just trying to deal with my pain. I grew out of it, obviously, because I'm here and I'm fine, and I still love the game. But yeah, it was annoying. But yeah, I watched that anime a lot.
In a very short period of time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did. Oh man, it helped that at the time. So at the time, actually no, just kidding. I lied. That didn't happen. That was later. I rewatched it later with my boyfriend at the time.
Gotcha.
It was hilarious because we got to episode 12 and he also didn't know that the time skip was happening and I knew it was happening, so I had to be like, I'm leaving now, I'm making some food, and he's like, wait, what's happening? I'm like, they won, don't worry about it. And I let him deal with it. Anyway, yeah, I haven't watched it in a while because P5 has thoroughly taken over my life. But I feel like I need to rewatch it again because a couple times I've actually rewatched the bar scene and just burst into laughter remembering how good this anime is. So
oh yeah,
I feel like I need to give it a rewatch and just love it again because it's so good. What about you, Kat? Because I know, oh dear, how many times have you rewatched this Natsume Yujin show?
Minimum 8 times.
Okay.
And again,
all 6 seasons.
Well, that's the thing. Like every time a new season came out, I'd rewatch the whole thing, and then I'd rewatch however much was out. So I've probably seen season 1 and 2 11 or 12 times.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and then 3 and 4, like I want 8 or 9, and I'm in the process of rewatching 5 and 6. I've rewatched specific episodes that I really liked. 5 and 6 are hard for me to rewatch because, as I mentioned before, the thing happens, and I don't want to go through that right now. It hurts,
right.
And I don't want to.
Right. Yeah, I understand.
So yeah, it's one of those things where I haven't rewatched 5 and 6 as much as the others, but I'm gonna get there.
Indeed.
Give me time.
Yeah. I said indeed. Yep. Getting there.
But no, it was to the point where like every couple of months, if I wasn't drawing for it, I needed to rewatch it, or I would get like really moody and sad, and I'd be like, oh, okay, I need my Natsume hit.
I need my Natsume tap. Hit me up, please.
Yeah, just
yeah,
come on.
Just come on. You gotta hit me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess that's how I felt in that 1 or 2 months where I was in that game hole. It's just like, if I don't have it, give me more.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's the only show I've ever felt like that with. Even with all the other shows I've liked, it's never been like, I need to rewatch this to not be sad.
Right. Yeah. Pretty intense.
And then quickly, last point, is P4 still an obsession? I kind of know the answer.
Oh, well, I already kind of said it.
Yeah, exactly.
No. P5 so thoroughly was like, my expectations of P5 was all like, I want it to be just under P4 and that would be amazing, right? Yeah, so P5 came in and like took me and it was just like, here, you thought I was going to be worse than P4? Snapped across the knee, thrown into the corner. Okay, now let me show you how it's done. Don't move, I'll show you. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, and I'll give you that P5 has amazing style and the combat's better and like
1,000,000%. But literally first 15 minutes of that game just blew me away.
Oh yeah, same.
Because I didn't know what was happening. I never looked anything up. Apparently Nick and Taylor both knew what was happening, so it didn't affect them nearly as much. But like, you know, you're in the middle of the game and I'm like, oh, we're already in the Phantom Thief. This is interesting. Maybe like this is what they were doing, you know, before they awakened their personas. And it's like, no, you're fighting a shadow right now. Wait, we're fighting a shadow. What do you mean? Like I haven't wait, what's happening? And then you get arrested and all this stuff happens. And then it's like, okay, remember everything. Flashback. What? Catching up to the timeline was so important to me, which is why I finished it within a month. Because even after you catch up to the timeline, you are so invested in the story that you're like, okay, caught up to the timeline? Great. I need to finish this out.
Yeah.
It blew me away. I could not believe it. And again,
you didn't see it coming.
I never saw it coming. Yes. I'm not even going to laugh or slap you for that pun, because it's so true. This game's so good. And, yeah, so, like, we'll talk about P5 later, but, yeah, things I was going through in life, playing P5, everything synced up, blew me away. Game is 15 out of 10. I love it to death.
And that's why Persona 4 is not as much of an obsession for you.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't, like, Persona 4's, like, soundtrack and everything used to be the one where it's just, like, Yes. Ah, this feels so good. And now it's like I'll listen to it and I'm like, oh, these are some good songs. And like brings me back to the feeling of being in high school because that's when I played it. And then and then P5 music comes on and that's when I'm like up in my seat. Like unless it's a really sad song, I'm like up in my seat and I'm like ready to go and I'm like I'm gonna take on what's ever ahead of me. Like, yeah,
Well, I know whenever you edit, I know you beneath the mask rain.
Oh yeah, I put on Beneath the Mask all the time. If I'm like, yeah, so if like I'm agitated, I'll put on Beneath the Mask. If I need to work, I'll put on Beneath the Mask. If I'm like depressed, I'll put on Beneath the Mask. Like, it helps a lot.
Oh, for sure. It's a great working 2 song for sure.
Mm-hmm. If I can't sleep, I'll put on Beneath the Mask. That works too.
I can see that working.
If I'm watching the kids and they need to calm down, I put on Beneath the Mask. That has worked once.
That's one more time than I would have expected.
Yes. I was like, okay, good. This is working out as planned.
Yeah, we time skipped, but oh well. Persona 4 is a good game. And anime. We were talking about anime today, right? Yes.
Yes, anime.
Sorry.
I swear, we're talking about anime today.
We
can get to obsession with games later.
Indeed. Sure. But I think we've covered almost everything here.
Yep.
We've gone on for...
And if you couldn't tell from my case, yeah, 100% still an obsession. I want to go to Japan to watch the movie. I don't know if I'm going to be able to because, life, but that's the plan.
Right. Yeah. Obsessions. Man, aren't they crazy?
Yep, I never understood it until I had one of my own. I get it.
Yeah,
I understand.
We all understand this amazingness of obsessions. But yes.
We've talked for a long time.
A long time.
Way longer than I expected.
We expected long. We didn't expect this long.
Nope. Didn't expect to run out of time, that's for sure. So, thank you for stopping by. It has been you can talk to us more about your obsession or your favorite things in our Discord, which it'll be linked in the description. You can yell at us on Twitter on how we're just wrong, our obsessions are wrong, even though opinions, can't be wrong, but whatever.
You can try. Anyway.
You can try.
Yeah.
You can talk to us on Twitch, you can talk to us on Twitter. Those links are all in the description. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye!